See, this is why people think that the Australian government is just owned by the corporations, whether that's certain, liquefied natural gas companies that don't pay royalties, or whether that's the pharmaceutical companies. Everyone just gets their slice except the Australian people.
Well, you asked me, how I've observed corporations, etc., and I was, by political bent, I was at a function, and I'll name him, Peter Dutton was there, and he was looking as though he might be the next Prime Minister of Australia. This might have been 18 months ago.
Yep.
And the people around the table were with large mining industries and other corporations, maybe even educational. I didn't know too many of them. But all I heard was them all asking, what can you do for us? And I'm thinking, well, no, what do you do for yourselves? Because I made a comment just a moment ago, I don't know if the thing was running. I think I've had $14.25, and that came about from a council in about the mid-1980s as compensation for something that they then rescinded the reason for me doing I think it was $15,000 worth of work on the farm.
You're saying you don't take anything from the government. In fact,
to my knowledge.
You give the government a lot, actually.
No, people listening to this would say, of course you take things from the government. They're running a safe, we've got defence, we've got this, and I'd say, well, actually our defence probably couldn't beat a swarm of mosquitoes, so it's not going that well. No, it's a fact. We don't have anyone.
Yeah. I think it was Jim Molan. No, it was Jim Molan that said this. He said, fundamentally we're a one-shot military. It's not big enough. It's got no force. It's one-punch military. That's all we can do.
Yeah, well, so I'm talking about...
Yeah.
I've watched executives, senior executives from industry, and all they want is handouts.
Yep.
I'm aware, and I talk to different people who are fairly well connected with the defence industry, and you hear all these things and you think, well, what the hell is someone doing about it? Now, I'm going to be brutal and say the Greens, the Teals and the Labor Party choose to do bugger all about it because there's nothing in it for them, perhaps. But the Conservative person and the person who supports a Conservative structure does care about it. I was just asked to go out and do a bit of chitter-chattering out in the bush. I didn't run into one person that was happy with what the Conservatives were doing, and they certainly didn't like what the other mob were doing. Now, okay, that's a reflection on the electorate and so on, but they're really angry, and that's what's starting to happen. And so, all of these, I'll call them negatives of what we're observing nationally right now, it's welling up, and people are frustrated to all hell. Now, I know I can't change the Labor Party, and I certainly can't help the Greens, and the Teals, that's a different game of fish altogether. But the Conservative Party, and that's where Graham and I are joining forces to try to do something to put a bit of a stiffener into it and not mimic and echo what the Labor Party or the Greens are doing. It's wrong, in my opinion. But if your alternative fighter says, we're with them, well, hang on, there's a few of us who aren't with you now.
Yeah.
Now, and I know Graham's been in the party for a long time. I've been a supporter of it for probably 35 years in different ways. I'm not an avid, I don't go to the meetings and things like that. But you can't be more disappointed.
Yeah.
When you think that there's a person standing there with your interests at heart. And then I heard the current Treasurer for Queensland say, we've got to have, work for net zero. What? And all I ask is why? What's it going to do? Other than we've got windmills and they're going to destroy the place. I accept photophotic cells on, I think that's the right word for them, on people's houses, and that if that can be used and save them money, fine. Don't have a problem with that. But to have to transition the amount of...
If I can just take 20 seconds of your time, I apologise for interrupting this clip. If you'd like to support Turning Point Australia and what we're doing to help keep the lights on and keep the work going moving forward, please check out our website at tpaust.com.au. We've got a range of merchandise, whether it's the Make Australia Great Again hat, whether it's the other shirts that we have, or the educational maps that we have. Please go and support. If you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can also support us by buying us a coffee and becoming a regular subscriber for as little as $4 a month. I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much.
collection of energy, if they get any anyway, back through the system, and the overarching loss, and then the amount of subsidy they have to get to put all this crap on the ground or in the sky is wrong. It's just straight out wrong and stupid. And unfortunately, when I listen to that Bowen, I have to rush over and turn the TV off. I think the man's an idiot. Sorry.
No, I feel you. No, Bowen is no fan of mine. There's a lot of people in Western Sydney, on same-sex marriage. He voted against his community, who voted no to same-sex marriage. It was one of the few areas. So there's a lot of people in Western Sydney. They're the highest no voters. They were the highest people voting no to same-sex marriage. They don't like this climate change stuff. They tried to outlaw open fires in New South Wales, especially in Sydney and certain councils, and the backlash was huge. I mean, the amount of people that came out against it, and all of that is untapped energy that the Liberals refuse to even consider.
Well, it's nuts, because the people are genuinely disenfranchised, and it's not. I mean, the Labor Party vote at the last election, I think 32.4%. 68% don't like them. But how do you then say, well, this is what we're going to do to help you to get a better go in life, a better go in your community? We're not going to waste billions of dollars, and we're actually going to put a defence force together that might have an opportunity. I don't think we've got a drone in our army. I don't think.
Is that right?
I don't think someone will tell you, that's 3. But we're an island.
We need to be a porcupine. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what we've got, I think it's something like 222 assorted generals and 1-star officers or something or other in Canberra.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. I think in the war we had something like 28. 600,000 men in uniform.
Yeah.
So somewhere in here we've got it a bit wrong.
The bureaucracy has grown out in every way, in the military, in Canberra. We've got more bureaucrats in this country than any other nation per capita in the world.
We are number 1.
Wow.
And way above, I think Japan's number 2, and they're at about 66, and we're 103.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
And we've got 3 tiers of government. We've got 25 million people. Or 27, I think, now.
Yeah, not even in the UK do they have that.
No. So we've got it all wrong. Now, if you put your best foot forward and put this in front of the public at large, you might get a pleasant surprise that they actually think it's a good idea and to change. Now, I know Graham's been talking to different people in the state government, and they're tone deaf. They don't hear. And, we've had discussions about the union movement and how to rectify that and how to do this. And then all I draw from that is the buggers are gutless. They haven't got the cogents to do something about it, male or female. And we need to say, no, we're not going to have that crap anymore. I like to use the old, well before your time, there was a film called Network, and it was had the lead actor was Peter Finch. It was 1972, and the last half a minute of the show, Peter Finch is yelling at the moon, and his line was, "We're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore." Now, I think that's about where Australia, and maybe for that matter, Europe, the people, the general population at large, that's how they're feeling. So when you pose a question to me, why you, why Graham, well, he's got a far more erudite and sensible approach. I've just got to where I am, looking at the absolute and utter gutlessness of our political leaders, I'm talking Conservative, and then the iconic stupidness of the ruling ALP Green Teal. I mean, it's just rubbish, and we are going to go down the chute. Now, in amongst all of that, I have a business to run and 1,300 people and their families I'm responsible for. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, we will end up buggered under this current administration, and the alternative isn't going to be any better. So that's why I'm mad.
Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this particular clip. If you want to support this show and keep the lights on and support everything we're doing at Turning Point Australia, please head to tpaust.com.au, where we've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got maps. And if you don't want to buy any merch, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just buy maybe a cup of coffee a month, for as little as $4 a month, you can help us get a small, long black to actually support the show and actually keep things going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.